League of Legends showcases an incredible lineup of champions, from stealthy assassins to mighty mages unleashing epic spells, but today we're diving into the heavyweights, the real titans of Runeterra. These champions aren't just hanging out on the battlefield, they really take charge with their impressive size and commanding presence. From massive giants created through magic to legendary creatures with tails as grand as their size, let's dive into the top 10 biggest creatures in League of Legends, from the smallest to the biggest of them all. So stay tuned to the end to see who takes the top spot. Without further ado, let's start with number 10, and it's Maokai. He's a character that really brings a sense of nature and magic to the forefront. Maokai was once a peaceful spirit of the Blessed Isles, tending to lush forests and vibrant life, basically a caretaker that represented the heart and soul of nature. But then came the Ruination, this cataclysmic event that twisted his home into what it is now, the Shadow Isles, a land shrouded in death and undeath. Maokai's peaceful existence shattered in that moment. Instead of fading into despair, his sorrow morphed into a righteous fury. Now he stomps around the Haunted Isles, lashing out at the ghosts and horrors that have invaded his homeland. He's not just some grumpy old oak who wants everyone off his lawn, he's a wounded guardian desperate to cleanse his home of its curse. In the game, you might see him tossing saplings that explode on enemies, all while absorbing damage like a champion tree tank. He stands so tall, if you imagine him in real life, he'd be a good chunk taller than a large building, and that really fits his role as a protector who won't be pushed around. His size is about 19.7 feet. At number 9, there is Atrox, a being who used to be a noble defender of Shurima before things got really complicated. Atrox wasn't always this hulking, sword-wielding nightmare roaming the battlefields. He was once an ascended warrior, tasked with fighting the void to protect his homeland. Over time, though, the ascended became twisted and cruel, turning into what are now known as Darkin. With so much power and pride, they decided to wage war not just on enemies like the void, but pretty much on the entire world. Atrox ended up sealed inside his own sword, imprisoned basically until someone foolish or unlucky decided to pick it up. That's when he took control, bending mortal hosts to his will, reshaping their flesh into something reminiscent of his original, horrifying form. Atrox's story is about downfall and corruption, a hero who fell so far from grace that he became a monster. On the battlefields in League of Legends, he lunges forward with immense power, drains life from enemies, and swings his blade to reshape the fight. His size is about 22.96 feet. At number 8 is Nautilus, who stalks the ocean's depths near Bilgewater. If you think heavy, rusted diving suits are creepy, wait until you see this giant. Nautilus was once a simple man, a salvage diver who believed in paying respects to the ocean by tossing a coin into its waters before every voyage. One fateful expedition, a captain refused to continue this tradition, and Nautilus ended up dragged into a terrifying vortex beneath the waves. When he resurfaced, he wasn't just a diver anymore, he had become something else. A huge, armor-plated guardian who wields a massive anchor as a weapon. Legends say he now exacts tolls on those who fail to honor the sea's rituals, yanking them below the surface. He's like a maritime myth come to life, an unforgiving force that reminds sailors to respect the ocean's mysterious depths. In the game, Nautilus can snag enemies with his anchor and smash into team fights like a tidal wave of metal. His size is about 39 feet. At number 7 stands Chogoth, a void-born monster who devours anything and everything to grow. He's the ultimate eater. Imagine a terrifying creature stepping through a portal of a dimension of nothingness, hungering to consume reality itself. Chogoth came from the void, a realm of endless hunger and emptiness. He's not just large, he grows by literally snacking on whatever crosses his path. Mortals, wildlife, entire armies, it doesn't matter. With each meal, he becomes larger, heavier, more durable. If you tried to reason with him, you'd just get swallowed whole. Chogoth is a living nightmare, and yet he's strangely fascinating. His biology is incredibly adaptive. He can harden his skin into diamond-like armor or spit out spines to shred enemies at a distance. On the battlefield, Chogoth's iconic move is stomping down on someone to grow stronger, a gruesome reminder that he's always eating. While some monsters are just big and scary, Chogoth is big, scary, and perpetually hungry like a bottomless pit with teeth. His size is about 72 feet. At number 6, Gallo stands watch outside Demasia's shining capital. He's a gargantuan stone sentinel made of petricite, a material that can nullify magic. Gallo was crafted to protect Demacians from enemy mages standing guard for decades at a time. He's not a creature of nature or a cosmic being. He's more like a statue brought to life when magic is near, animated by the very force he's meant to oppose. When awakened, Gallo roars into action, protecting allies and crushing foes who rely too heavily on spells. He celebrates every awakening like a grand festival. Still, after each battle, when the magic dissipates, he returns to slumber. There's a bittersweet angle to his existence. He loves to fight for the greater good, but his victories cost him his consciousness. Yet, he doesn't despair. He stands proudly, content that he can serve a noble purpose. Gallo's story is one of noble duty, quiet patience, and sudden bursts of heroic action. He is the city's silent guardian, a massive stone figure who holds the line without complaint. His size is about 160 feet. At number 5, Volar and Ornn come charging onto the scene. Volar, the towering bear-like deity crackling with lightning, represents the raw, untamed fury of nature and the old ways of strength and survival. He despises human civilization, comforting fires and structures, preferring chaos and the lessons taught by nature's unyielding power. Legends say he shaped mountains and carved landscapes in battles against serpents and gods alike. Opposite him stands Ornn, his brother and the reclusive god of crafting and order. Ornn prefers solitude in his volcanic forge beneath Hearthhome, creating unparalleled works of craftsmanship. Their sibling rivalry is legendary as Volar's chaotic destruction clashes with Ornn's disciplined creation, leading to countless confrontations that have left scars on the Freljord itself. Together, they embody the balance between creation and destruction, chaos and order. On the Rift, Volar charges like a thunderous avalanche while Ornn shapes the battlefield with his molten might. They are both 265 feet tall. At number 4, there is Malite, a hulking brute of living stone from another world entirely. Picture a creature who once served an ancient monolith, acting as a caretaker and protector of a floating fortress. After a catastrophic encounter with the Void, Malite found himself stranded on Runeterra. He's tough, stubborn, and struggles to understand the chaotic behavior of soft, fleshy beings. He's basically a rock who doesn't get why everyone is always running around, messing up the order he tries to maintain. But if a threat shows up, especially one that reminds him of the destruction he witnessed, Malite becomes an unstoppable force. He's not elegant or subtle, he literally smashes into fights like a meteor, knocking enemies aside. Malite's goal is to bring order and stability to a messy world. Sure, he might be grumpy about it, but he's not evil, he's just frustrated. It's like watching a giant stony teacher trying to get unruly kids to behave. His size is about 341 feet. At number 3, say hello to Anavia, the cryo-phoenix who soars high above the icy peaks of the Freljord. She's not a brute or monster, she's a graceful ancient spirit who represents the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. Imagine a gigantic bird made of ice and wind watching over rugged landscapes and tribal communities. She's revered as a protector and harbinger of change. Anavia has guided travelers through blizzards and helped reshape the region's history, whether by cooperating with or opposing powerful leaders like the legendary Three Sisters. Her presence is a sign that something important is happening. Her life is a constant cycle of sacrifice. She dies, shatters into ice crystals, and is reborn anew, each time bringing fresh hope to the world. In combat, she conjures freezing storms and ice walls, turning the battlefield into a winter wonderland that enemies find hard to escape. If the Freljord needs a symbol of resilience and adaptation, Anavia fits that bill perfectly. She's the embodiment of hope shining through the cold and dark. Her size is about 449 feet. At number 2, there's Bard, a mysterious and whimsical entity who drifts through the cosmos listening to the music of creation. Bard isn't a giant in the conventional sense. He doesn't smash cities or tower over mountains, but his cosmic nature and immeasurable presence make him staggeringly large in a way that's hard to comprehend. He's basically a caretaker of the universe's harmony, drawn to places where events could disrupt the cosmic balance. When he first heard the song of creation, the music of the stars, he was utterly enchanted. Accompanied by tiny meeps, Bard wanders worlds, gathering strange artifacts and ensuring that everything stays in tune. He rarely shows direct aggression, preferring subtle nudges and interventions. He might rescue powerful artifacts that could tilt the balance of reality, gently guiding them away from the mortals who have no idea what they're handling. His motivations remain a mystery, and that's part of his charm. He's just out there, dancing to the universe's beat, making sure all goes well, occasionally appearing in Runeterra to fix a cosmic chord that's out of tune. While not towering in a traditional sense, his presence is said to be beyond measure, and those who have caught a rare glimpse describe him as if the infinite night sky itself took shape. We don't really know his size, but he is more than 300 billion miles long. At number 1 at the top of the list is Aurelan Soul, a celestial dragon who literally creates stars. Imagine a being so vast that entire galaxies could fit in his pocket. Aurelan Soul is incomprehensibly enormous, drifting through the cosmos and forging suns. Long ago, he was tricked into service by a cunning empire that harnessed his cosmic powers for their own ends. He's been chafing under these binds ever since, longing to return to his true purpose, freely creating and destroying stars as he pleases. His personality is prideful, understandably since he's basically a godlike entity who's older than many worlds combined. He finds mortal concerns trivial, like watching ants squabble over breadcrumbs, yet he is oddly fascinated and sometimes amused by the tiny dramas of lesser beings. In League of Legends, he appeared on the Rift as a champion manipulating star energies, summoning comets, and collapsing heavens upon his foes. It's just a tiny fraction of his true power, of course, but enough to make anyone facing him think twice. His lore suggests interactions with other cosmic beings, but none quite compare to the grandeur of the Star Forger himself. If he ever breaks free from his chains, he might just rearrange the night sky out of sheer boredom. That's the kind of unimaginable scale we're talking about. His size is 5,878,625,373,183 miles. And there you have it, our top 10 biggest characters in League of Legends, from Maokai to Aurelan Soul. These champions aren't just massive in size, they're titans in lore, gameplay, and imagination. Now, who would you put on your personal top 10 list? Did your favorite colossal champion make the cut? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you enjoyed this list, check out some of our other rankings or lore dives.